coming right there.
Oh, hey everybody. Welcome to our Tactical Tuesday live stream. This is episode, I want to say like 35, something like that. No big deal. Really doesn't matter. Does not matter. I got a great live stream for you tonight. We're going to try to do a repeat of last Tuesday's because, why? Well, because the monkeys at Livestream took it upon themselves to basically kill my live stream. Wasn't that nice of them? All right. So anyways, we're going to let this keep going. This is the part where I'm going to ask you guys if you can hear me okay, if my audio is good, or whether I'm clicking or anything. I think it's pretty good. I think we're good to go. I got a great sponsor again this week. Actually, they are sponsoring the entire month. It's Protection Plus Tactics right here. They are the guys, home of the bad rod. That's that $99 patented, custom tuned guide rod. It's solid steel that's got a sexy point on the end of it. I mean, you just want to hit a guy right in the forehead with this thing. I mean, you just do. So anyways, it's kind of cool. Cool part is we're going to have the CEO of Protection Plus Tactics, and he's also the inventor of it. He's going to be on tonight later on in the live stream, kind of like he was last Tuesday, but YouTube decided to reach down and touch their vaginas and turn off my live stream. Wasn't that nice of them? They allowed me to do it again. So last Tuesday was an excellent rehearsal. I'm hoping that we can have another good one tonight. You guys see that blue t-shirt that was kind of snuck in there? Oh, who is that, right? Guys, that's Dave. We got Dave back again today. Come snuggle, Dave. How you doing, brother?
Doing
good?
Thanks for having me.
Doing good? All right. So, guys, let me know if you guys can hear Dave okay. Dave is good people. And, right, can you guys hear us? What are we saying? All good, 5x5. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So, Dave, I've got a outstanding cup of coffee. All right. I've hooked him up with some IBC root beer. All right.
Excellent.
That is some damn good coffee, dude. Damn good coffee. All right, guys, you can see right here it says he's with Fight or Die. Notice I have a typo there. Or is not spelled O-R, it is spelled O-A-R, as in or, like rowing. What is Fight or Die?
So Fight or Die is a nonprofit veterans organization. It's fully funded by donors. It is, we have three kind of pillars. The first is the open ocean rowing team. So this year, in 2022, and then I'll be rowing in 2023, we'll row from La Gomera Island in the Canary Islands all the way to Antigua in the Bermuda. And it's a 3,000 straight line nautical miles. And it's much more than that because the ocean's not going to let you go where you want to go.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, this year's team, they actually got about 18 days in, and 17 other boats along with them were capsized by just a monstrous storm, and then theirs was unrecoverable. So they had tied this, they got into a life raft, tied it to the boat, and it snapped through, and they lost it. And
shit.
It was it's going to be coming out. They wanted to wait till the last person was in, so there was 100 and some odd days that it took for the last person to come, and they didn't want to release their story. Until then, they didn't want, friends and family, those people who are out still rowing, to be like worried all the time. So, it is basically Fight or Die is an organization that we use the rowing to raise funds.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we do it's mental first aid courses. So I just took one today with my wife. It's a 6-hour courses right online. I've actually taken
How
one.
was it? Was it good?
It was really good. It really.
Okay.
The people who took it, because we're all zooming in today, they all had someone that they personally knew who had committed suicide. And the Fight or Die organization is geared towards helping veterans PTSD, TBI, and then preventing suicide because we have a large population in the military.
That sucks. And every person that was on the Zoom. That's crazy.
Everyone knew someone personally who had taken their life.
So you're not just here with the company, the nonprofit. You are no shit gonna row across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep, myself and 4 other team members.
Three others.
Right?
Yeah,
Four
four total.
Yeah,
4-man team. So I'm thinking like Pirates of the Caribbean. This is like a massive boat with sails. There's no sail.
No,
There's no motor.
no motor, no sails, and the old boat that's lost, it had a compass that the guy had to guide the rudder.
Yeah.
The new boats that we're looking at to buy have a GPS rudder, so it'll kind of keep you on track. However, several of the teams this year it shut off, so they were like,
What do we do?
well, they didn't. So we're trained to do.
Yeah, you go back to back it up with a compass.
Well, yeah, we're going through a course for nautical orienteering, open ocean style, like sextant and all that. A little compass, maps. So going back to that, because we have to have a backup for everything.
Yeah, you got a backup for the backup. That's crazy. All right, so why Dave? Why Dave? I see you got your World War II Ranger patch. So were you in a Ranger bat?
Actually, I Ranger qualified.
Okay.
The other three guys were in bat, and then myself and Joe Leach are both Special Forces Green Berets.
Okay, so
My son is actually in Ranger bat
what group
now.
were you in?
The 20th group.
20th group. Okay. All right. So why Dave? What is making you go do this?
So, number one, I've had my own kind of troubles and run-ins after deployments and whatnot.
Do you mind me poking you with a stick and asking you to elaborate?
Sure, poke.
So, no, because honestly, guys, everybody sees a lantern-jawed, barrel-chested freedom fighter here because Dave is awesome, but the reality is a lot of Joes they're hurting on the inside or they have injuries on the inside. So, you mind sharing your story?
Yeah. So obviously, I had 2 total years combined, everything in Afghanistan, sustained just basically. Your regular stuff is concussions and from blasts or from, doing free fall stuff or even static line stuff. You're hitting the ground all the time. You're giving your head jarred, and each concussion you get is cumulative. So
what's not mean to interrupt. Susan's asking you for the website.
Oh, it's Fight or Die. So FOD23.org. If you do the
FOD23.org.
Yeah, it'll give you basically a video of what the Talisker is, and it's actually they called it now the toughest row on Earth because Talisker had been the sponsor for I think since the beginning of it, 2016 maybe, and then they decided that hey, this year we're not going to, and they're gonna go. And in the history of the races, it said multiple sponsors. So it is going to be called the toughest row in the world at the Atlantic Challenge.
Okay.
And they also have the toughest row in the world Pacific Challenge beginning 2024 and 2025. We have already got guys who are set up to do those races. And
if you don't lose their boat again.
Yes, if we don't lose their boat, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Back to your story. All right, so anyway, over 2 years in Afghanistan.
So that, along with just a regular military service, concussions, and then so TBI stuff, and then for the longest time, I was just thinking everything was going good, and my wife was like, "Hey, this is crazy," and I get very angry and just have all kinds of like things that are just frustrating, hypervigilance, and just constantly like.
Short fuse.
Yeah, short fuse and just, for no reasons, really. And so about 5 years, my wife was just like, we've been married 28 years. And so there was a 5-year period after my last deployment where she was just like, hey, something's not right and I'm miserable and blah, blah, blah. So I finally decided, okay, well, I'll go talk to somebody. And I didn't just want to talk to anybody. So I went to the Army and they sent me to the behavioral health sciences or behavioral health guy. And they're like, hey, yeah, you know what we need to do? We need to do some testing and whatnot like that. And then we need you to counsel some things. And then, so I ended up doing all that and then getting some medication that does the trick. Like, it's amazing. So, and I've never been a big, I've been the guy that was always like, it doesn't matter. That's just they're being pansies, whatever. But the reality is that your brain can only take so much. Mm-hmm. And you can only see or intake so much crap. At some point, your neurological pathways are like, hey, this sucks, So that, and on top of that, I have 2 sons in the Army. One's a Ranger Battalion, and the other one is at Fort Bragg, and he's getting ready to go to Ranger School as well. And then I have a friend, Joe Pfister, sergeant major from 5th Group that you know.
Joe Fisher. You guys know I retired as company sergeant major for my old unit. I got to that unit, sniper cell leader, went up to be a team sergeant of the sniper A team for one of the troops, and basically stayed there. But when I was trying to get the company as company sergeant major, there was a total of 5 sergeant majors, new sergeant majors that wanted A15, my SIF company at 5th Group, and Fisher was one of them. Fisher was a great guy. We were buds. He was awesome. Fortunately, I got the company and he didn't. He went I think he went to 4th Battalion or something. Doesn't matter. He's a great guy. I'm just glad I got my unit back. I remember that boy always had a smile on his face. You know, he's got like an antique Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? He drove it around in a trailer. It had like mineral oil for brake fluid, and I never saw him drive it. But he would love to talk about that thing. Always had a smile. Always had a smile. And then Dave here broke my heart last Tuesday.
Yeah, so Joe has several sons, and 2 of them were in Special Forces, one in 10th Group, one here at 5th Group. And then just 2 years ago, on March 29th, his son, Joey Jr.,
the one up at the Master Sergeant.
Yeah, he's Master Sergeant. He was out of 10th Group in Colorado there. And, you know, he took his life, and he was, you know, talking to his brother, and then took his life, and then...
and his brother's like, dude, I'm 4 hours away. I'll be there.
He was here at Campbell, so he said, I can be there within 10 hours.
Yeah.
And it was too late then. He took his life. And so Joe called me, and, man, I was just destroyed because, like...
Yeah, because like, you have 2 sons.
I have 2 sons, and, like, one of my biggest fears is that, hey, I've done these things, and they're going to try to... they're trying to get, you know, go above me and all these things. And they, you know... So I was like, they're going to encounter these things. And so... Like when I heard that, I was like, man, he just got my worst fear handed to him, and now how do you do it?
That broke my heart when I heard that. Now, Joe Jr. was a Master Sergeant. All right, this is me as a Master Sergeant sitting on the hood of the Humvee, proud of all my guys around me, and I was at the happiest point in my life, and I just can't imagine what would crush a guy like that. But I had it in my old unit. Chris Papard, he's like, well, hey, did you hear what happened to such and such? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, dude, he's, you know, he had to leave the company. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like one of the toughest guys on the planet. Right? He lost the edge. What do you mean he lost the edge? And, you know, did you see like a pile of dead babies? And they were like, no, Carl, it's just eventually it piles up. And small things, and unfortunately, a lot of vets, especially guys like us, they try to keep it inside, and that's what I think so awesome about what you're doing with this fundraiser here is this nonprofit, guys, is for 2 things really. One, for the virtual first aid, mental first aid courses. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that I thought was totally badass is you want to elaborate on it a little bit?
Yeah, so we also do, because this is not a short-term thing, because Fight or Die is not just going to be like, oh, hey, we're going to roll the ocean. And I was at the American Legion last night, and the guy's like, oh, you just want another notch in your belt. I'm like, I got lots of notches. I don't need any more. Yeah. So, no, that's not right. But the goal is long-term to make sure that, number one, we can address the suicide issue in veterans by having people who are trained to help them, not just you know, at the Veterans Administration, because, you know, they don't have enough staff. Yeah. Not at all these other organizations, which is awesome. They're doing things, but we want to do it so that we can get, like, my wife or your wife or anybody who says, you know what, I want to help. They can go to this mental first aid course, and, like, it was 2 hours online that you did a bunch of practical stuff, and then today I did a 6-hour course, which was great. And I've taken a 40-hour course prior to this. And it basically shows, hey, here's how you can talk to people. Here's how you can communicate and understand these things that are happening in their life right now, without, like, kind of making that stigmatism. Because everybody has judgmental. We're trying to be non-judgmental towards
exactly,
it.
Exactly.
So that is one part of it. So the boat race raises funds so we can do this, because this is all free. donated time, all the instructors. And then the second thing is that we give scholarships for people working on master's or doctorate level courses that specifically deal with behavioral health in the veteran field. So
that's the part I thought was cool. One, because my daughter decided to go into medicine and everything, but there's not enough healthcare providers out there. So they are actually, you understand, we got the next generation that I've completely lost faith in, all right, because they're being indoctrinated in college.
Yep.
But they are, Row or Die is going to take ones that sincerely want to help and help pay their whole medical education to get them that doctorate. All right, so we have more people out there, and I think that's totally badass. There's nobody else doing this. There's nobody else.
The scholarships are literally, there are 3 different ones, and they're literally specific for each particular, basically behavioral health or veterans health, for each one that applies. So you can go on our website, or you can go on usvetrow.org to get more information on our donors, or not on our donors, but our scholarship winners each year. But that's the long term.
usvetrow.org.
Yep.
Yep. See, that's a different website than the one you gave me a minute ago.
So Fight or Die is the organization, and because we're in the Row, we got to be a part of a Row organization.
Okay.
So there's only a few U.S. based teams that do any open ocean rowing. The Brits and I call it the Queen colonies, they have tons and tons.
Vikings. Why? Because they've been rowing forever. Hell, some of them never got there. They're still rowing.
Yeah.
Some of them still.
That is huge in those countries and I think that they've tapped out all the people who. I mean, there's companies all over Europe that sponsor these other rowers. Like, just, hey, yeah, we want that, just because. So we're hoping that we can get sponsorship and donors, because hey, what we're trying to do is help the veteran population, but not only that, but help the veterans' wives, veterans' friends, parents. Because if they can get. For some of our friends, it's too late because they've already taken their life. However, their parents are still there, their wife, their kids.
Yeah, they're having to deal with it.
We want to help them deal with that through this.
And saying you want to end the problems.
We know
you're not ending problems. You're creating more problems for everybody else, all your loved ones that you left behind. That sucks.
Yeah, we're not trying to. We know that we can't fix everything, and we know that the brain is so complex, and the way people each interact with. In their daily work, in life, there are signs, but if there are some people who you won't see any signs, and you're like, because just with Joe Jr., no signs.
Nobody saw it.
Everything was going great.
Yeah,
but we didn't see it coming.
All right, so if you could send them to one website to check everything out, fod23.org.
That's it, exactly.
Susan, Donut, can one of you guys put that in the chat room for me so guys coming back here tomorrow can see it? It's fod23.org. All right, so when is this race? When is it?
So the race itself is held, it starts December 12th, and the start point is in La Gomera Island in the Canary Islands, and then it goes to Bermuda, Antigua, and 3,000 nautical miles, no support, no, everything you need to sustain life is in that boat. 80 days of food, even though we're hoping to do it in under 30, or 30, not under. That'd be awesome, though.
That would be awesome.
My goal is to break the 1-day nautical mile record of 117. So, but I got to convince the other guys to do that. And we're all over 50.
I've gotten on the rowing machine and done like 20 miles, 40 miles, and just completely dripping with sweat. There's no way.
Yeah, and the ocean, it's going to have to be on a very calm day, because I bet the ocean is not going to. When you think of rowing on a machine, you're just
it's not rowing.
When you're on the ocean, one oar could be up and the other could be down, and then you're fighting the ocean the whole time. So there's a lot of different challenges that we're going to have to go through.
So you started talking about the boat. Elaborate a little more on this boat. So it's like a Viking boat. It's got a dragon at each head.
Yeah, well, it's similar.
And shields down the side.
It does have a bulkhead at each end where one person and a rower can go in, but their legs are underneath the hull or the deck because there's not a lot of space. But it's it's totally watertight, so it's going to be hot all the time. So
if you had to go rack out and sleep,
yeah, you're going to be
one at one end of the boat, one at the other. That leaves 2 guys rowing that entire thing.
And so they would just do a hot rack basically every 2 hours rotation for 24 hours a day for 7 days a week until we finish the race.
It takes more than 2 hours to start your rapid eye movement cycle.
Yeah, we're not going to get a lot of sleep.
Zombies. They're going to be zombies.
Yeah, not a lot of sleep. The food, right, is all going to be that prepackaged stuff. We're looking at companies right now to help us, do that and to get that donors because it's super expensive, obviously.
Oh, I bet.
80 days per rower. So 4 rowers, 80 days of food. And then on top of that, you've got all the electronics, the GPSs, the ERBs, the beacons. So this year team, there's a new rule because of the fight or die team, because they had all redundancies.
Yeah.
However, now they're going to require a 3rd GPS sat phone that will directly connect to the actual Atlantic Challenge.
Okay.
Before, they was just attached to just the countries and who are closest. The signal goes to them, but apparently the West African coast nation, I don't know which one, they got the emergency signal but didn't do anything and just said and so 14 to 18 hours the 2022 team was in a life raft that was deflating because it got punctured in the exiting the boat. So they're every 30 minutes pumping this boat
You said
up.
they were Air Force guys.
Air Force guys,
One of them probably had a like the all open on his Leatherman, trimming his fingernails.
There was something that got a part of the compartments.
I'm sorry, I popped the raft.
Well, thankfully though, a Norwegian freighter, I believe it was a Norwegian freighter, got their beacon signal, went to them, and then they did basically the toughest move is to get 4 dudes in a tiny life raft onto a giant ship with a rope ladder. All while this boat is sinking.
The ocean's doing this.
And it's deflating as you go. Like, we talked to one of them the other night, and he said that literally the last guy off was barely stepping on just enough air to push off.
These guys were getting ready to be chummed.
It was almost over there. And
crazy. All right. So my viewers, if they want to help out Fight or Row.
Fight or Die.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Fight or Die. How do they help you out?
Well, there's a couple ways. We have on our website, there's a donor page.
Which website?
FOD23.org.
I got to make it clear.
Yep.
FOD23.org.
Yep.
Okay.
That's specifically for our team, and there's donations on there. Obviously, any amount is awesome, and they can do that. Or we're getting ready to start a...
you understand, guys? I don't want you to throw $100 down in the super chat because YouTube takes $40 out of that. So if you want to give David $3 or $100 or $1,000, please go to FOD23.org and make the donation there. Please do.
And on the website, you'll see it says, why we row, and then do people really row the ocean, and it'll show a video, and you'll be like, huh. Now, they show a lot of fancy, nice pictures.
Yeah.
They haven't showed a lot of the other stuff. So my goal is to also document this whole trip and show the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we're going to do that. And then also we're going to start doing there's a website. What's it? Amazon Wish thing. We're going to try to put out some products on there that are requirements for the race. And people can go in and on that and be like, hey, we want to support, you need sunscreen or just whatever stuff. It could be just practical stuff that it's an overall cost, but we're trying to put more money towards this the new boat because the old boat was a open class, which set the world record at 50 days. And then there's a race class, and then I believe ours is going to be an R45 race class. And this year's winner of the Talisker did in 30 days in a boat similar to that. So
wow, 30 days.
Yeah, they were cranking. It was a Spanish team. So
30 days. That's awesome.
Yeah,
what about fundraisers? You had something coming up in May.
Yeah, so our next fundraisers are going to be May 5th. It's going to be in Mobile, Alabama. It's going to be called a gala.
It's going to be like in a parking lot, bunch of Jeeps parked there.
No, actually, it would be more like think of it as one of those Kentucky Derby, where everybody wears their big hats and fancy suits and whatnot, and then the sponsor a table, and then we're having auctions to auction off stuff. One of our guys, Joe Leach, is going to be auctioning off a weekend resort that he has, like a cabin.
Yeah.
He had an awesome lake and whatnot, and then we were getting other products to do as well, and then.
So I thought it'd be cool, right? Because you understand we had this conversation last Tuesday. So guys, I basically printed up Tactical Rifleman Combat Pistol Carbine course. It's a certificate that they can auction off at Fight or Die. It is serial numbered at the bottom. And we put out it has all the contact information, everything they need. They can pick a class off of our calendar, 2023, 2024, and it's worth $750. So hopefully at least somebody will bid 40,
I hope.
$50.
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, so
Thank you very much,
guys. I donated that, and yeah, I hope so.
That's awesome.
All right. So if you guys are going to be around the Mobile, Alabama area, I encourage you to go there and watching auctions. And
we're going to set the location and the dates. The dates
as
May
we get
5th,
closer,
but we're going to set the actual location.
You keep me in the loop, and I will keep you guys in the loop here on the live streams. I sure will. I will do that for you. All right.
Very nice.
Yeah. Here's the deal, guys. He mentioned it earlier last Tuesday that the hardest part of this whole race is getting to the race. And you understand, you and me are sitting back at home and we're going, there's no way you're going to get me in a rowboat for more than 3 hours, let alone 3 days. And they're talking about doing it for 3 months. And you understand, 3 months, 90 days, maybe longer. And
we hope it's not that long, but you never know.
That?
That's my phone over here.
It's your phone? Okay. It's vibrating through the desk.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. Hardest part is getting these guys there to the race. Once you get them there, strong constitution, intestinal fortitude is going to pay off. And these 4 Rangers are going to accomplish the mission. They will. Why?
Yep.
Because they've got a mission and they've got all these vets on their back that need this help. How do we help David and his 3 Ranger brothers? How we help them is we help them get a little money up here, guys. So it is FOD23.org.
Yes,
If you didn't get that, you're dyslexic or whatever, scroll back through the chat room, and my mods have put it in there a couple times already. FOD23.org. And we will do our best to take care of you, brother. We really will.
I appreciate it.
All right. Last parting words of wisdom. He's got a 4-hour drive home, guys. 4 hours. He drove here 4 hours just so he could spend 15 minutes with you all pitching this thing. And because it's that important, it really is. So I had a super chat come in. It's the one that was on the screen there. Colby Dixon, I've donated to Fight or Die this previous payday, and I will next payday.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a mailing address to send some nutrient survival to take on the trip? Are you familiar with nutrient survival?
No, but I'd like to.
All right, so you've heard of Mountain House and
Yep.
All your dehydrated
Yep.
stuff. You gotta have water for that. Where would they find water in a rowboat? I mean, seriously, it's
So in that we have a desalination machine, 2 of them.
They know I'm joking.
Oh.
They know I'm joking.
But
All right. Anyways, nutrient survival. You take the old Mountain House stuff that we used to bring up on the mountain. Their stuff, and they claim it's special ops grade is their thing. And I'm actually going to try to have the CEO of the company on next Tuesday's
Excellent.
live stream. I'm gonna hit him up to sponsor you guys.
That'd be awesome.
Either way, all right. But they take, as they're cooking the food, and they put all these vitamins and minerals and stuff in it, so you're not just eating empty calories. It's actually good for you.
Right.
They've got like 12 flavors. There are 3 that I really love. I mean, like I got a almost empty can of it up in the kitchen right now because me and my son actually snack on this stuff. So it's not just for camping. It's not just for going. And dude, you guys are the perfect.
That would be
the perfect fit. So I'll tell you what. Colby Dixon's one of my patrons. My Patreon family is awesome. They really are. Colby, I appreciate you throwing down that money just to say that, just to get my attention. Thank you. And you understand he's in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So he made a donation last payday. He's going to make a donation this next one. Colby, you're awesome. You know you're awesome. For the rest of the guys in the chat room, I hope you guys can be as awesome as young Colby is. You understand he's not a lieutenant general in the Air Force. He's not. Colby he's a worker bee. He is, and that's what's going to get this done. It's not having one sponsor that writes a check. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of little worker bees doing their part. So I will hit up Nutrient Survival. I'm going to get them to sponsor you. Now, I don't know if you guys want to do freeze-dried food for 90 days straight. I'm pretty sure you never have to worry about going to the bathroom again for the rest of your life. Or, I mean, if you lost a paddle, you could just and force one out.
Well, yeah, we'll take whatever we can get there because that's a need.
Colby, that's a good idea. I will hit up Nutrient Survival, a little bit of peer pressure, and
I can get you my home address if you need, so you can send it out. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you want to actually put a mailing address?
Sure.
You sure?
Yep, no problem. Don't say crazy stuff.
I'm gonna give. Do I dare give him the keyboard? Oh snap!
Hope nothing breaks.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me click on it, guys. You understand? He's getting ready to put sensitive information in this chat room right here. All right, I got it right there, so you can type your 12375
East Beale.
And you want them to address it to you?
Sure.
Okay. Man, that is totally badass. See, I won't put my actual address because I already have, I already got the NSA and everybody else watching my house. I don't need these guys coming
I sent
in.
it over to ISIS. I'm hoping they'll come and take me up on the offer.
My wife's like, well, what about if Al Qaeda, they get hold of your address?
Bring it.
I'm like, you understand, I haven't killed a human being in 9 years. Let Al Qaeda come to the hill.
Exactly.
I mean, me and David looking at the security cameras and the IR lights haven't even turned on yet. And let Al, honest Al, if you want to come to the hill, please bring friends. Bring lots of friends with you, Al, because Al Qaeda is not welcome here.
I'll just stack them up like cordwood.
Brother, I'm going to let you go because Mama wants you home, and I appreciate your time.
So much. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone out there. Appreciate it.
That's just crazy. That's awesome, guys. David Figgins from Fight or Die, right? Fight or Die, but travel safe, brother. You travel safe.
Thanks for the root beer.
Yeah, thanks for the root beer. Why? Because I'm a nice guy. You can actually put that in the envelope. There is a non-pretty one that's marked just for record, or copy for records. And please, I hope it brings you some money.
Thanks, sir.
If it does, I'll give away another slot for your next fundraiser after that.
Okay.
All right, and take care, David. Safe travels, guys. David Figgins from Fight or Die. That's awesome, right? That's the whole point of having a live stream is that we can have people here. We can, right? We can have people on the live stream. But what is the whole point of a live stream? Point of a live stream is for me to interact with you guys and do our questions. So real quick, while I've got your attention, I don't have anybody here right now. I just want to say that I am teaching a class, private course down in Memphis next week, 3-day class, and but I have to go down early and prep it. So I'm going down Tuesday morning early. What about the live stream? All right. So next Tuesday's Tactical Tuesday live stream, we're actually going to do it on Monday. So next Tuesday's live stream, set your calendar, and I'll send out reminders. And you understand, when I schedule a live stream, if you guys have subscribed, like you should, subscribe to TR Live, and you click the bell for notifications, you should get a notification prior to the live stream. Unfortunately, YouTube does not like us. So, like, my wife has been unsubscribed, I think, 3 times in the last 12 months. And she never gets any notifications, even though she double checks the bell is clicked. That's fine. Don't hate YouTube. You can complain about them all you want. Hate the player. Don't don't hate the player, hate the game. And the reality is we let them do this stuff. And I know people say, Carl, you should be doing this on Rumble. We have a tactical rifleman on Rumble, but you understand it doesn't get any views. So it's there for when they officially kick me off. We'll jump to Rumble. But for right now, I like YouTube because you guys are here. All right. As much as I complain about YouTube, sincerely, when I need to clean my espresso machine, I go to YouTube and I put in how to clean an espresso machine, and the video immediately pops up. There'll be 50, do it on Google, there'll be 50 videos from YouTube. There won't be a single video from Rumble. Why? Google and YouTube are married at the hip. That's okay. Again, don't hate the player, hate the game. It is what it is. So I love YouTube. YouTube just doesn't love me. So, it is what it is. So anyways, next Tuesday's live stream is actually going to be on Monday night. So I hope to see you guys next Monday. Trying to get Steve to come. Steve thought I was out of town tonight. He's got a honey-do list to do at home. So Steve Holland wanted me to pass on his apologies. He wanted to be with you guys here tonight, but he couldn't pull it off. Hoping he can make next Monday night. And it'll be awesome. It really will, really well. It was fun visiting with some of you guys at the NRA convention this past weekend. Okay, right? Decent convention. My wife wanted to go see President Trump, so that's what we did on Friday. She got to go watch Trump. He's okay. I thought a lot of the other guest speakers were actually better than Trump was. They had some great guest speakers. They really did. Emery didn't go with me because Emery was back here teaching a 2-day course called Gun Runner 1 Carbine. Now, my combat pistol course used to be called Basic Combat Pistol. And everybody assumed that it was a basic pistol course. It is not a basic pistol course. So I took the word basic out and I changed the name to Combat Pistol 101. But again, the 101, everybody assumed that this is a basic course. Nobody wants to take it. It's not a basic pistol course, not at all. It is my entry-level course into combat shooting, because all the fundamentals of combat shooting from here apply to here. All right, it's all the same, no matter how you do it. All right, so we get into combat mindset, and, the physiological effects when your body goes into fight or flight, stuff like that. But then we push right into combat shooting drills. Unfortunately, a lot of people show up to the course, and a lot of times we end up missing a lot of the first morning, just trying to correct stuff on your draw and safety and trigger reset, and because people needed to have gone and taken a basic pistol course before they come to that course. We thought about it, and our whole thing was Tactical Rifleman as a group. Z Durham, all the other instructors were like, guys should be getting these basic courses before they come to us. But the reality is nobody does, or if they're getting courses, they're not getting what they need. So Emery and Chad Mormon put together a 2-day course, and it's not dealing with combat shooting at all. It's dealing with shooting. 2-day course, you master the firearm, and then the second day you're getting in all the reps. For the pistol course, it's 2 days. The carbine course, it's 2 days. The first day you're getting in, you're mastering the drills, and then the second day you're getting in all the repetitions. So at the end, when they actually do a couple of the critical task evaluations, the tests, you're completely crushing them. So that's what Emory taught this past Saturday and Sunday. And I've spoken to almost all the students that were there, and they've reached out to me and they're like, holy cow, Carl, I cannot believe how much I learned. I did not think I was going to learn that much. I've been to combat pistol carbine course. I've been to these other carbine courses that these other instructors do. I didn't think I would learn that much at Gunrunner 1 carbine. They were very, very pleasantly surprised, and I wasn't, because I saw the list of drills that Emory was going to do, and I was like, yeah, I wish I had time. I really wish I had a third day in our pistol carbine course to do these. So Emory ran a great, great course. The reason why I'm throwing that out there, guys, is if you go onto our calendar, tacticalrifleman.com, you click on our calendar, or you can just go straight to the store, and there you'll see companies we love, everything, but they also have training courses. You can click on courses right there, and it lists all of our courses, the Patreon course in October, high-risk travel, things like that. And you can see the write-ups on the courses. And I understand we need to do, it's hard to capture in a couple paragraphs when you're a knuckle dragger. It's hard to capture in a couple paragraphs what it is you're going to be teaching them. But again, I can't stress enough how literally every student could not elaborate more to me how much they were blown away by how awesome it was. So if you're looking for another course, whether it's a pistol course or a carbine course, you want to get better with that firearm, I can't stress it enough. Gunrunner 1 pistol is on the calendar a couple times this year. It's actually, that 2-day course is right before our Patreon course for all my patrons that are in the studio audience right now watching at home. If you're a patron coming to our October Patreon course, that is a 4-day course. We're going to do shooting from little birds, all kinds of fun stuff. But if you want to get better with that pistol, it is a 2-day course right before the Patreon course, Gunrunner 1 pistol. And again, that course is going to sell out very, very quick. But it's a couple other times this year. Gunrunner 1 carbine is coming up also. Susan's dinging my phone telling me that I'm missing super chat. So let me get off my ass here. We'll check a couple of these. Lonnie Smith, I've got bum knees. Would that be a problem in your combat pistol carbine? Lonnie, here's the deal, brother. I have got bum knees. Matter of fact, I'm getting one of my knees surgically replaced. I think they're going to use the axe I split wood with outside because I'm on a low budget and I don't have medical insurance. But I'm having one of my knees replaced in June. And you understand, I am lead instructor at Pistol Carbine. You can get through it. And guys, this question comes up a lot. I have guys that are 300-400 pounds overweight. I have females that attend the classes. I have 70 and 80-year-old people that attend the classes. And they have the same thing. Yeah, I don't know if I can do the course physically. I guarantee you can. I've had people take my classes in wheelchairs. Okay, the goal is not for you to pass all the tests at the end of the course. It's not pass or fail. You're not trying to get a certificate, right? The goal is for you to learn. I want you to come with your guns that you're going to fight with. I want you to bring your ammo that you want to train with. I want you to bring your open mind because that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for me to yell at you. You want somebody to yell at you and make you feel like a Ranger private. Go somewhere else. That's not me. I want you to learn. So honest brother, if you're worried about your knees, seriously, don't sweat it, brother. You're going to be fine. Lonnie, if I can do it, you can do it without a doubt. Elevated agenda, threw down 5 bones. Everyone, zero your damn rifles before you show up for class. Every good American should have a zeroed rifle. I can't say now. Combat pistol carbine course, you're only going out to 100 meters. But the advanced pistol carbine course, the first 2 hours of the day, of day one, you're going out past 200 meters. And the night shoot goes out to 200 meters on the advanced pistol carbine course. All of our 2-day courses have got a night shoot in them. But yeah, guys, I encourage you to have a zeroed rifle. Let's say you don't know how to zero a rifle, or you think it's good, but you don't really know because nobody really showed you point blank zero. Nobody ever explained to you how the height of your optic over the bore of your gun and the muzzle velocity and the type of ammo and everything, how that affects the trajectory of your round. And you don't have data from your 200 meter zero to 300 meters to 400 meters. We cover all of that in what we call Carbine Zero Mastery. That is a 1-day course, and a lot of times you'll find that on our schedule, like right before the advanced pistol carbine course or something like that. We do that course a few times a year also. Elwood Farm threw down 20 bones. Carl, my wife doesn't care when I watch your live streams on the big screen, but she did get mad when I watched the live stream, then bought night vision binoculars a couple days later for checking on the farm. Elwood, you tell Honey Bunny that those are not just your night vision goggles, they're also her night vision goggles. You get her involved in what we call a little game called Night Operations, wink wink, after all those margaritas, and you explain to her how you can wear night vision goggles and lipstick, and that's it. Wear nothing else, and she will enjoy your night vision goggles. Promise she will. I'm not making this up. It's in one of the field manuals. I'm not sure which one. If everybody doesn't have night vision goggles yet, understand you're missing out. There's certain things you need to learn. For example, the 28 positions of the Ford Mustang. There are certain things you're taught in special ops that, anyways, I digress here. Karen Harrison threw out a question. How is Randy doing? Actually, I talked to Randy yesterday. And you guys, if you don't know who Karen's talking about, another one of my patrons, she's asking about Randy Rawhide Worst from Worst Case Scenario Survival School. He's a chief warrant officer from 5th Special Forces Group that retired. He literally wrote the book on survival. He's in like 10 history books. He is 100% awesome. I'm watching my wife come in on the deck. She must have heard me say something about night vision goggles and lipstick. I love you, honey. I love you. Doghouse. I'm in the doghouse. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Now, Karen, I talked to Randy yesterday. Randy is not just doing good. He's 70 years old now. Randy's actually coming over Thursday to teach me how to prune the little limbs off of my trees. I've got 193 fruit trees out back. He's going to show me how to trim all these little, what do they call them? They sap the strength out of the tree. Anyways, he's coming over to show me how to do it. Translated, I'm going to watch Randy trim all my fruit trees. Karen, I appreciate you asking. Randy is one of my only heroes I have on the planet. I have a lot of friends. Actually, I don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. I have a great Patreon family. I have a great family here on the hill. My wife's family is awesome. But I have very few heroes in this world. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a hero to me. He's a actor. That's all he is. John Stryker Myers was a hero of mine. He was one of the MACV-SOG guys, right? John Stryker Myers is awesome. But Randy Worst is no shit a hero of mine. When I grow up, I want to be just like Randy. I really do. Really, really do. So anyways, good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, we're about 10 minutes out. I asked our sponsor tonight, Protection Plus Tactics. I asked Don, the CEO, to call in. So he's going to be calling in about 10 minutes. All right. So if you guys have any questions, I want to, there we go. They're suckers, the sprouts on the side of the trees. one thing I do want to do is I've got 749. So it was last week I had an anonymous patron give away a Silver Star Patreon membership, 1 year membership to our Patreon. On Patreon, guys, we get a I do a quick shooting tip. I do story time with Carl. I do question and answer videos. I do one of these every month, one of each every month, and for just my patrons. Well, that anonymous donor donated that, and we gave it away last Tuesday. Even though the live stream was killed, the guy that won it said, "You know, Carl, that's so awesome. I'm becoming a Silver Star patron on my own. Please pay this one forward." So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another giveaway tonight. And we are going to give away a Silver Star tier 1 year membership to Patreon. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can go to patreon.com/tactical rifleman. And it's awesome. It really is. There's a lot of content there that people here don't get for free on the internet. All right, so I got a bunch of patrons here. You know, Big Fezzik just said Patreon is great. To win, if you guys want to win, write Silver Star in the chat room. Go ahead, right now. You can do it. Type Silver Star. You can enter a maximum of 3 times. If you go more than 3 times, the computer automatically pulls your name out of the drawing. So 3 times, Silver Star. And Susan, let's draw the winner at 7:58. Let's do 7:58, okay? And I'll notify who the winner is. Now, here's the cool part. Let's say you're a patron already and you want to be a Silver Star patron. Okay, I'll do it for you. I'd rather you stay yourself, just bump yourself up. But that's fine. But for my rest of my patrons out there, I'd like you to invite somebody else to become a patron. And I understand times are tight and, you know, the economy is rough right now. But you understand YouTube is demonetizing all my videos, suppressing our content, right? You guys don't get notifications anymore. So I still have to pay for the film crew who are out of New York City, by the way. I have to pay for them to fly in to film videos. So how do I keep this channel afloat? Right? Because teaching courses, that's how I'm supporting my family. How do I keep Tactical Rifleman afloat? Yeah, we do advertisements and little things, but to really keep this channel going, I need my patrons. That's who's keeping Tactical Rifleman afloat. It's not your YouTube super chat money. Don't get me wrong. You want to make a small donation to the preservation of Carl Erickson Foundation, I'm all about it. I am. I just understand YouTube's taking 40% out of that right off the top. So if you throw down a $10 super chat, YouTube's taking $4 of that right away. All right. Karen, you're already a Silver Star. That's awesome. She wants to do it again. Okay. But I hope whoever wins, guys, all you got to do is take a picture of your avatar, email it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. They will forward me that email and I'll reach out to you. I'll get in touch with you and I'll explain to you how you log on. You'll be able to use your own email address and everything. It's going to be awesome. Or it won't. We'll see. We'll see. Story time with Carl for this month. I filmed it the morning after that tragic helicopter collision, the soldiers from Fort Campbell. And so story time with Carl for the month of April, I actually talked about how when I first got to the 101st Airborne back in 1988, I was brand new to the recon platoon. It flew us out to land between the lakes right over Trigg County. And it dropped us off and the helicopter flew back to go get the other scout team. And it ran right into one of the helicopters that was carrying our bad guys, a different unit from Fort Campbell. Exact same mission. They do the mission every year. And unfortunately, training accidents happen. Anyways, I share that story Every month I do story time with Carl. Sometimes it's a combat story overseas. Sometimes it's a training story. And to me, training was always harder than combat because special forces units make their training so hard. If it could go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And then when it comes time to actually do the mission for real, it's like, you know, that was a cakewalk. It literally, combat was a cakewalk. So, anyways, it is what it is. The quick shooting tip for this month, I asked my patrons what they wanted a quick shooting tip on. Because sometimes I do different things. Sometimes it's shooting, sometimes it's not. It's just a quick tip. Might be knot tying, might be whatever. So anyways, I did a good one for them. The Gus Stash just threw down 20 bones. Very, very cool. So anyways, we are coming up. You got just a couple more minutes more. Silver Star, Silver Star, Silver Star. Susan, draw it right at 7:58. And once I announce it, then Helen and Dan can dial in. It's going to be awesome. It'll be awesome. The Gus Stash. Pete Me threw down 25 Hong Kong dollars. Pete here, you bought goat guns, toys. Which goat gun is your favorite? Would you check out Forgotten Ruin book series? I wish for free Silver Star Patreon. I hope you win, brother. I do. My favorite goat gun would, of course, have to be the Barrett. The Barrett M82A1 50 cal. The Gus Stash 2531. Man, your mom named you weird as shit. Threw down 20 US, sir, comma. Have you talked to Angry American about when his next book is coming out? I can't wait to hear about you, Emery, and Chad in the next book. But tell him the Audible version with Emery sounds like he's Russian. No, dude. If you guys aren't familiar with book 11 is out on Audible right now. Angry American actually added Chad, me, and Emery to it. And Emery's character, the guy reading the book, his Jewish Israeli accent is more Jewish and Israeli than Emery is in real life. Emery's American, guys. Emery's been in America his whole life, but the character sounds very Israeli. Chad just sounds fat. You know, the guy don't sound like Sergeant Major Erickson at all. I don't know. I don't know. The winner, drum roll. The winner is Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith, you are the winner. Congratulations. You just won a 1-year membership at the Silver Star level on our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Tactical Rifleman. The cool part about that is Silver Star level, you get to turn in questions for the question and answer video, which, by the way, just came out this morning and was like 2 hours long. 25 questions, that's it. All right. Why was it so long, Carl? Because I go into detail on these questions. But the other cool part, the Silver Star patrons, we do a live stream once a month. It's actually not this Saturday. It's the following Saturday for the month of April. We do it Zoom. So you get to see all the other Silver Star patrons. It's like the Brady Bunch. It's cool because you got Karen and Toby there, you've got Susan there, you've got Jerry J there, you've got all these other patrons, and it's such a great time. It really is. My Patreon family sincerely is a family. All right. So anyways, Lonnie Smith, you are the winner. That's awesome. For everybody else, guys, I'm sorry you didn't win it, but honestly, for the cup of a cup of coffee and a chocolate muffin once a month, you could literally get your own Silver Star Patreon membership, and you could get all the cool benefits also, including the coolest part of all is the Patreon course we're doing in October. It's like the last week of October. it's open to all patrons. So it doesn't matter if you're $1 a month patron or a $200 a month patron. Everybody is welcome to attend that course. And it is a 4-day party. It's family friendly. So David brought his 2 daughters last year. Karen brought her husband. Toby brought his wife. I think we had 10 couples there. And it's always a great time. It really is. Karen Harrison hit it off great with my wife, Dana. She already met her at the Jeep Invasion last summer. But she also hit it off with Susan Britcher and some of the other... and you really see we are a family here. We really are. Indeed. So anyways, congratulations to our winner. Congratulations, Philip Wilson. Helmet recommendations for the low light class. It is nobody's going to be shooting at you. So you can basically, you can dial in with whatever you want. My phone is like dead. I'm getting ready to have somebody call in. That's funny. Please start charging. All right. All right, it's charging-ish. All right. Yeah, so the low light class, guys, that's going to be held early July. It is at a indoor shooting range. And the cool part about that is that you go take a night shooting course. A lot of times you show up at dinner time and you shoot for 3 hours and you go home and you spend all that money. Now, this course, you show up 8 o'clock in the classroom. We shoot all day because I can kill the lights, right? David's here. All right, let's put David on speaker. Hey, David, you there? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, this is Don.
Don, I'm sorry, not Don, not David. This is Don. How you doing, brother? Awesome. Awesome. I'll tell you what, I'm going to slide over more like this. All right, guys, this is the part where you guys are going to let me know if you can hear Don okay. Can you guys hear Don? What do you think? Can you guys hear Don? That means, Don, you got to say something so they can hear you.
Okay, out there.
Say that one more time.
Can you guys hear me all right out there?
Yeah, there we go. Can you guys hear Don good? I remember when we started off last time, we had a little bit of a echo, and I had to move your phone away. But I think we're going to be good this time, really. I think we are. Guys, I had Don on last week, and it's because I was holding a gun in my hands. Notice, for my Google moderator, this is not a gun. This is a slide. This is a inanimate object. This is not a real firearm. But you got to understand, Don, you and me need to learn to be patient with the Google moderators. They are, what do they call them, Generation Z. Basic, ZZZ for completely asleep in all their classes. Everybody's saying they can hear you fine. That's good. So anyways, guys, Don is the CEO of Protection Plus Tactics. He's also the inventor of, can you guys see that awesome spike right there? Look at that puppy. I mean, it just makes you just want to run it right through somebody's forehead. Guys, this is a tuned one-piece guide rod. It comes with a spring. And Don, honestly, I don't even know where to start with this thing. What do you think? Where do you want to start? First off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Seriously, what's your background to start off with?
Well, my background, I'm a Marine. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old. I spent about 10 years in the Marine Corps. I had the opportunity to do some wonderful things, all over this globe. Prior to that, I started out, studying martial arts when I was pretty young. And my grandfather, he was a German orphan from World War I. And, he grew up during the Depression, and he was a very tough guy. And so he made sure that I understood what tough meant. And so, he got me into boxing pretty young. And then from there, I went to Shotokan. And then from there, then judo. And in 1983, there was no MMA. So I went off to the Marine Corps. And at 17 years old, Marines. and spent about 10 years in the Marine Corps, and then my back got all jacked up over in Iraq, and I wound up having to get out of the Marine Corps. And from there, I started, continuing, training, things like that, made my recovery. And then I got into some, E&P work, executive protection, and I got the opportunity to train with some wonderful people. Taught me a lot of things like Paul Castle, Max Joseph, some other guys like that. I trained knife fighting, when I was in the Marines, going through my jungle survival with Grandmaster. So it's been a lifetime of fight for me. And my specialty is border combat. So when things get tight, everything changes. And when you got somebody on top of you 3 to 5 feet, and you got to, make some quick decisions and quick moves, that's when things get really real, in my opinion. So, I started a company called Protection Tactics about 12 years ago, and I've been training people ever since. A lot of people that I knew in the executive protection industry. I went on, they started agencies, I started training their guys, and my business just grew, and it allowed me to do other things. And so the bat rod that you've been showing people and everything is a result of my lifetime of fight. And so I always wanted to weaponize the weapon a little bit, in that number one, I don't want people grabbing my gun, because 3 to 5 feet, when your gun comes up, it's almost 100% guaranteed they're going to try and grab it.
Yeah.
They're going to try they're going to go for your weapon. And so I always wanted to enhance the weapon in a way that would prevent people from knocking it out of battery and grabbing it out of my hand.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Yeah. Guys, my background, not that undifferent than Don's, close but different, right? We went down different trails, but a lot of the things overlap, right? So weapon retention and Don, I covered in our courses that, because like selector lever on an AR, for example, there are still units that say they take the weapons off a safe before they even go into the shoot house. And my problem with that is you break that corner in the shoot house, it's paper targets, it's a level floor, no furniture, no big deal. But that's not real life. Real life, you go in, you've got carpets, you've got coffee tables, you're tripping over everything. But you go in, it's not just paper targets, it's real targets, but it's not just targets. It's targets that are not threat targets. It's targets that are threats that warrant deadly force, but it's also targets that are threats that do not warrant deadly force. And those targets, you've got to play, you've got to keep that weapon on safe, and you've got to basically beat them to the point to where you can put flex cuffs on them. And sometimes they cower right away, but a lot of times they don't. So muzzle striking and striking with the pistols, hammer blows, and punching with the barrel. You didn't do a lot of punching with the barrel because, like you said, it knocks the pistol out of battery. And but I'm very, very big on when you talk about the strikes with the firearms and keeping somebody off of you. And that's why I preach, and the guys that have seen my videos, I'm big on having a fixed blade knife on the front of my body armor, because if somebody pins my rifle down, if I pull my pistol out and he grabs the front of the pistol, he owns as much of that gun as I do. But if I hold him with one arm and pull that knife out with the blade right here, he can't grab that blade. And I've got carotid arteries there. I've got the subclavian neurovascular bundle right above the clavicle or below it, depending on the angle you're coming down at. These are strikes that we train, but striking with the barrel of the gun, nobody had ever brought up, hey, that solid guide rod that everybody's running, you could put a spike on the front of it. So when you guys first reached out to us, hey, Carl, I'd like to work with you, and at first, Don, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I see the benefit of this, but I'm not really, I kind of, but Don, I'm here to tell you, once I got this thing into my hands, one of the weakest things on striker fired pistols is the guide rod. And that's why, like, when this company Laser Max, they used to have a laser they put in the guide rod, replaced the weak guide rod with now a hollowed out aluminum guide rod that had batteries in it and a laser. They made that weak point even weaker. And that's kind of why I was shying away from yours. Viewers at home, guys, I don't know if you can see that. That is the toughest freaking guide rod you are ever going to see on the planet. This thing, what do you make these out of, Don?
They're made out of 17-4 stainless steel. And like you said, this is no attachment for the guide
Oh,
rod.
yeah, not at all.
It replaces the guide rod. And we also, go through some heat treating processes. So, like I said, when we developed this, I took a few years to do it because I also wanted to balance it for each weapon.
Yeah.
So when we go ahead and heat these things up and harden them and everything, we're now balancing them as well. And so it's creating some harmonics that work with the weapon. So we tune the springs, and now you've got a 17-4, hardened stainless steel spike, in your gun. And this thing's never going to break. I mean, you can, like I said, you can break it.
Yeah, you're not going to break this thing. You're not going to break it. And, yeah.
And that's one of the things when we're talking about how we manufacture this. There's not very many machines that can do this either because we're actually cutting these things on some sophisticated machines and getting that down to a very, very sharp point. And when we start looking at this thing magnified, you can actually see what we're doing with that very tip of that angle. It's going to go through stuff.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Now, on that note, I know some of my viewers, they're going to have questions about appendix carry or how does it interfere with other holsters. And the full disclosure, that was one of my gripes was, hey, how is this going to interfere with my Safariland ALS holsters? For a lot of you that aren't familiar at home with you guys know I run a duty belt. My Safariland ALS holsters, it actually locks on the face of the slide for your locking component of the ALS holster system. But as far as supporting the bottom of the gun, it does it off your flashlight if you're running one that's cut for a flashlight. And I didn't have to modify my holsters at all, not a bit, not a single bit. These things fit perfect right into the holster the way it was. So this was not an issue at all. Appendix carry. Now, my appendix carry holster, I'm not allowed to show it to you guys because that would be me touching a firearm on a live stream. I'm not going to do that. But Don, I was looking at my holster with the light that's on this holster. The holster is actually made by Blade Tech. And again, not an expensive holster. I just needed a holster that would match this light by Crimson Trace. The cool part about Kydex, guys, and a lot of your polymer plastics is all I did was I took a nail from my workshop, I heated up the holster with the heat gun and took the flat part of the back of the nail and just stretched out that part of the holster. And that worked good enough for me. Don, what's your experience with holsters? Complaints, successes, what have you had with it?
So with the holsters, Safariland does a good job with if you're running any type of a rig, your duty belt, you're running a rig, you're not going to have much problems because most of your holsters go on. Now, I was specific about the length of the bad rod, how much sticks out, and it's about a half an inch, and that's the side wall of any tire is a quarter of an inch, so it'll pop basically any tire out there.
Another use for it, yep. Now, you mentioned, go on, you were still talking about holsters. I'll let you finish.
And so with the holsters, a lot of your holsters are all red. And then depending if you've got a light or what type of setup you've got. And then, like you said, you're going to run into some instances. So I have a custom line of holsters that we offer for the models of the guns that we do.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do. We manufacture some holsters now. I'm not getting into all the light variants. So if I manufacture a holster, and that holster will accommodate the bad rod, and it's appendix carry. Now, if you've got particular needs with lights and stuff like that, in most cases you're probably getting a custom kydex anyway.
Yeah.
So get a custom kydex that's going to, work with the bad rod and your light configuration or whatever you've got going.
Yeah, guys, you can go to just about any good indoor gun range, a good one, and they have somebody there, it's either on staff or whatever, that can make you a kydex holster while you wait. At least that's my experience around Central Kentucky and the Nashville area. Almost all the indoor gun ranges here also have somebody there that dabbles in kydex. So to me, that's not an issue, Don, but I know a few of my viewers did have it. I have gotten questions since last Tuesday. Will it fit my P320 SIG?
Yes. If you go to our website, right now I'm doing about 83 of the top selling handguns in America. I'm constantly adding new ones. I just got to go through, the testing process, so I'm always testing them. I've got the SIG lines, I've got Glocks. We're just finishing up the XDs right now. The next one that's going to be coming out is the Canics series.
Canics, yeah.
Requesting the Canics. And also, like you were saying, if anybody buys a bad rod and they've got kind of a custom setup where that I offer won't work, I've got a guy. You just email me and I'll put you in contact
See that?
with
There you go. There you go. Very, very awesome. Yeah, guys. No matter, I didn't even realize there were that many different types of pistols out there right now. You got over 80. Here's the deal, guys. You notice how he says he's working on it? You understand? And I want to stress that this is not just a 10 penny nail with a spring on it. Don legitimate, and that's what I love about this thing, and why I'm not just inviting it to go away. This thing it's tuned. It's literally he works with it to the point to where it runs. So as I put it in my work gun, and which, by the way, remind Helen I gotta have one in that'll fit my Glock 19 EDC pistol. Because I really want to start running this thing EDC. Tell Helen I said pretty please. But I need one that'll fit a Glock 19. This is a Glock 17 length slide, guys, and I've got a bunch of ammo through it already. I cleaned the carbon off so it would be nice and shiny for you so that you guys could see it. But let's say you don't want it seen, or you're wanting the latest hotness. What other colors you do it in, Don?
So you got the stainless steel version, and Helen wants to let you know that yours is going out in the mail tomorrow. We've got a bunch of bad rods that are shipping out tomorrow.
Awesome.
The team was picking everything up today.
Thank you, Helen. I appreciate it.
We don't work Sunday, Monday because we work every Saturday.
Nice.
So, but she wanted me to let you know that's going out. Now, we offer it in stainless steel. That's the one that you got.
Yeah.
Then we all black. That seems to be the most popular. People want to be a little, covert. They don't, want people noticing that right away. They do also tan, your desert tan coyote kind of color, because a lot of the guns out now, like the M17 and stuff.
Yeah.
For that, it's the 320. And then we've also got red and then, gold for all those guys that want to Gucci up their guns.
You got it for a Desert Eagle yet? Because I know Emery's got a gold Desert Eagle.
Now, that Desert Eagle is... Have you seen how the guide rod works in there?
Yeah, I know. I really hope you don't ever make one for that, because no one... You understand? Nobody should conceal carry a Desert Eagle. That's just... It's fun. We bring it out for shooting mannequins and shooting body armor and stuff. But Emery actually, what is he EDC right now? I think he's carrying a CZ right now. You have him for the CZs?
Yeah, I'm a big CZ fan. Like my CZs. So yeah, CZs. I've got a couple more done right now. We're getting ready to add those to the website.
Nice.
But I'm a huge CZ fan, so yeah, you'll be getting. Now CZs are a little different also because of the shroud that they have on the slides.
Yeah.
And we had to engineer some things a bit different for that. And if people who own a CZ know, your guide rod is skinny. It's like a little nail. It's a little one. And so I had to do a few things there to make it in what I would consider, in my opinion, to be an effective addition to the weapon system.
Okay. So it's not just not an easy process. You legitimately got to put a lot of work into it. Okay.
If the SPO1 or your PO1 tax or anything like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Now, some of the newer models, the CZ10 and stuff, those we were able to get pretty easy.
Guys, you look at the guide rod, all right, and one of the favorite things that people like to replace is the guide rod. If you're replacing the firing pin in a pistol so that you get a faster, what do they call it, a faster lock time or whatever, so they go to a titanium firing pin. You're just a gear dude who's looking for things to put in his Glock. And Glocks are like Legos. I got that. I try to keep a pistol as stock as possible. Obviously, I replace the sights, and I'm big on optics. On the Glocks, I always swap the connector to make that. I put a 3.5 pound connector in all my Glocks, and that so that no matter which one I pick up, I have consistent trigger break across all my guns. My muscle memory transfers across it. But if you were going to replace anything, and I'm not bashing Glock, but that captured guide rod spring, it's on a plastic guide rod with a little metal washer basically at the end of it, and especially if you're somebody who actually works for a living with firearms, and the military actually has courses for basically hand-to-hand with firearms. You're hand-to-hand in kit where you're not shooting live range. The entire course is done at a dojo, and you're learning strikes with your helmet. How to strike with your helmet. Like if the guy's got you pinned down, one of the biggest things that they do is they grab your helmet, and it's very easy for them to move your head around because you've got this big thing strapped to your head. But it's also a viable tool for you to strike with if you go to ground with somebody. Strikes with the rifle, obviously, that's why people will see why the tactical rifleman instructors, we bring our sling instead of from the far end and the near end of the gun, we attach our slings basically right in front of the magazine well and right behind the pistol grip. And that is to allow us maximum striking motion with the gun itself, because the reality is very few targets. My old unit hit an apartment building in Solder City. I want to say there was 80 apartments. There was, I don't even know if Jackpot, the main bad guy, was even in the building, but I know there was a lot of bad guys in the building. We didn't shoot a single guy in the whole building, but there was a lot of people that wore flex cuffs that night. But there were a lot of people that didn't want to wear flex cuffs that night, and every apartment by Iraqi law is allowed. Every household is allowed to have a full auto AK by Iraqi law. So it's not like you can't shoot them for having a loaded AK in the house, guys. You understand that? So you have to be able to go hands-on. And one of the biggest things that we were taught to worry about was somebody knocking the front of your pistol and grabbing onto your slide, because once they knock it out of battery and they grasp it, you can't shoot. And understand, nobody is grabbing this, hitting this thing on the front to knock it out of battery and then holding it. They might hit it and knock it out of battery, but they're not keeping their hand there. The guy is this. You understand? I cannot stand this up on the palm of my hand right now, and I can't do it. If I pick the thickest callus on my hand, I can do it on the thickest callus. But even with the palm of my hands being as calloused up as they are, I can't sit it there. It is literally that sharp. So this thing's badass, Don. Totally badass. Where can my viewers get this?
They can get it at www.rod.com, or they can go to protectionplustactics.com. And, take a look. All the models are up there, everything. And any questions, whatever, we're always quick to respond with everything. So, that's where they can go to get them. We're now talking to a few people about distribution, because we've sold the Bad Rod, and I think it's sold all across the United States and in every one of the states, including Hawaii, but the only one we haven't got yet is Alaska. So you're going to be seeing this in gun stores real quick too. We just released it.
That's cool, man. That is very, very cool. Very, very cool. Don, you still there? Yeah, I thought I lost you for a second. I was messing with my phone. All right, so www.thebadrod.com, is that the best one?
Yeah, they can go there, right there, real easy, thebadrod.com, and they'll be right on the page. They'll be able to take a look at everything. We got videos up there. I got Chuck stuff up with it. I got Luke Rockhold beating stuff up with it.
Nice. I saw one of my moderators has put your put it in the chat room also. So guys, if you're interested in getting a Bad Rod for yourself, I hit Don and Helen up for a promo code for you guys, TR10. Don, correct me if I'm wrong, but TR10 saves them 10%, or what was it? It was something different, wasn't it?
It was bad.
I lost you. What's the promo code?
You're gonna get 10% off.
One more time, I lost. Oh, Bad Rod 10. That's what it was. Yep. Bad Rod 10. Susan, can you have somebody put that in the chat room also? BADROD10. Bad Rod 10. Saves you 10%, guys. 10%. That's decent. That's very, very decent. Don, I appreciate you sponsoring tonight's live stream. I appreciate you coming on. Guys, he's going to sponsor our live streams for the whole month of April. So here's the deal. Here's what I want from you guys, all right? Right, me and Don. Don's heard my side of this. I want to hear your guys' side of it. Put it in the chat room. Those of you that are watching tomorrow, put it in the comment section underneath the video, because right now, I know Emery's going to love this thing, because Emery likes to hit things with guns. And we are very big on, right, if you're in the room with the bad guy and your gun goes click, no bang, do tap rack. All right, but just like Don said earlier, if you're within so many feet, you need to be closing and beating the guy to buy you extra time to do tap rack, to get that gun back in the fight. So I know Emery is going to be very, very big on this thing. And he's going to want to start. We actually have a high-risk concealed carry course coming up that does a lot of weapon drills from retention, but also weapon strikes, non-lethal weapon strikes. And yeah, Don, I think I'm going to reach out to you about that. See if we can do maybe have like a couple of drills just in that course for where we can show off your products. Let the students actually try it out. Have a few of them on hand so that they can try them out. And yeah, I'll drop the money to buy those rods. And guys, let me know, is this something you want TR to add to our video list? I think I see a future Tactical Rifleman premiere Friday video, including your guide rod. Don, indeed. Bad Rod by Don. Don invented this thing. Don's badass. He really is. But Don's also the CEO of Protection Plus Tactics. And yeah, it's been an honor having you on tonight, Don. I look forward to playing with this thing again. This is how it comes, guys. Comes in a nice little tube, very discreet. Yeah, easy to use, easy to put in, and you can't screw it up. All the work has been done. He's already tuned it. He's got it perfect for your firearm. Just make sure you're requesting the one that's actually correct for your firearm, and you'll have the correct spring and everything, and it's going to be awesome. Going to be very, very awesome. I think we talked about it last Tuesday. I want to say it was 30 years ago. It was a Guns and Ammo magazine. They had this big 1911 on the cover that was built for the Navy SEALs, and it was a offensive combat pistol. And it had like a block on the front, like a flat metal plate that was hooked on the lower receiver to keep people from being able to knock your slide out of battery. But then on the bottom of the pistol grip, on it was a 1911, the back strap of the 1911 normally wraps around the magazine well, so you have a fluted magazine well to make it easier to do a speed reload. Well, they had a spike on the bottom of that magazine well, and the article, I read it because it looked badass, guys. It looked badass. It was on the cover, full, like 3 pages about this gun in the magazine. I read the whole thing, very interested. But that was a skull crusher spike. It was like 2 inches long. And it was so that you could hammer strike a guy on the top of the forehead and crush his skull. And the whole, which would be lethal force, by the way. My whole time reading it, I was like, these guys that made this gun they've never been to combat. They don't realize that most of the time if you're hammer striking somebody, you're not trying to kill them. You're trying to inflict pain so that they become subdued. But they definitely they've never been to combat. They've also never done a tap rack or a speed reload, because slamming that spike with your support hand, that thing would go right through the palm of your hand. So immediately I got through that part of the article, and I was like, yeah, this is a carnival ride. It'll never be used. And it never was. They said in the article it was made for the SEALs, but the SEALs never used it. It was never fielded. It's just a carnival ride. This right here, guys, I originally thought was a carnival ride, and it's not. Guys, I can whack my desk with this thing and put holes in my desk without even trying. And Don, I'm excited about it. I really am. I am excited about it. Last words for Don before I let you go. I know I've kept you up late already. What words do you have for my studio audience here?
Hey, you guys are really going to love the Bad Rod. If you invest in your weapons, you're definitely going to notice an improvement in the performance of the gun, because it will actually help the cyclic rate of the weapon. The springs are tuned for each weapon, each gun. They're all different, all for the different models. That was one of the meticulous things I went after, is I wanted to enhance the performance of the weapon as well. You're also getting a 17-4 stainless steel rod in there that's actually going to help you mitigate recoil, just like a competition rod. Never work, it's too brittle. So you're getting 17-4 stainless steel. And also, I want to let all you guys know, we do also sell these things internationally. We're also selling to other countries. Right now, Israel's talking to us about including this in some of their defense forces. So you guys maybe have never heard of this, but you're going to be hearing a lot about it real soon. And I really think that we're kind of changing the semi-automatic slide action pistol a little bit here.
Yep.
And when train or even train change as a result of this.
Guys, I tend to agree with that statement right there. I really do. I tend to agree with it. Don, again, thanks for coming on. And all right, I'm going to let you go, brother. You take care.
Hey, great talking to you, Carl. Thank you for having me. And I'm hoping someday maybe I can get out there and maybe train with you a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to do a collaboration with you. And yeah, it's going to be a good time indeed. You're going to love Emery. You two are going to hit it off perfect. The three of us, we think a lot alike. And good people help other good people. So that's awesome. You take care, Don.
Take care. Be safe, brother.
Yep. Take care. All right. That's kind of cool, right? Kind of cool indeed, guys. Yeah. I dug that indeed. All right, I'm going to center up on you guys. Can you believe that? YouTube did not shut down the live stream. Now, notice last Tuesday, they didn't shut it down for about another 10 minutes. So if you are the, what's the medical term for it? If you are the ass clown that complained to YouTube last Tuesday that you saw Carl touch a firearm, even though several times during last Tuesday's live stream, I explained that it was a non-firing firearm that had a cool fire training barrel in it, and I had it mounted on a stand. All right. Yeah, you need to walk out of your mom's basement, go get yourself some more Hot Pockets, and just throw them right in the trash, and just go eat all of the little Tide Pods that your mom's got in the laundry room. Eat them all, because you're a burden on society. It is what it is, guys. Yeah, it is. This is the world we live in. It really is. So is what it is. Guys, I was talking earlier about classes I have coming up, but one of y'all asked a question about what is the best helmet to bring to the low light class. All right. The reason why he's asking is, remember, it's a shooting class. You come in 8 o'clock in the morning. We shoot all day long. It will probably get done about 5-6 p.m. But it's night shooting, 2-day course. First day's all visible lights, flashlights, pistols, and carbines. All right. But late in the afternoon of day one, we are going to issue out night vision goggles. Now, if you want to bring your own, that's awesome. All right. So for those of you guys that own your own night vision, this is the perfect class for you. But what about the rest of y'all? You're on the fence. You want to buy that first night vision. Do I get thermal? Do I get a monocular? Do I get binos? Do I get quads? What tube do I get? Do I get ghost white phosphor, or do I get green phosphor? Do I get gated? Do I get auto gated? Whatever. That's a big jump. I understand that. You putting this money in your night vision goggles is a big jump. So what I did for that low light, no light class in July was at SHOT Show, I went to different night vision companies, and I got AGM Global Vision to sponsor this course. They are no shit going to give us one set of brand new PVS 14s per student. Now, brand new, Gen 2 Plus tubes in them. What does Gen 2 Plus mean? I appreciate you asking. France wanted to get into the night vision business, and they came out with these awesome Gen 3 tubes. They couldn't sell them to civilians because of ITAR's restrictions, international transfer of Gen 3 tubes. So France, being French, good businessmen, they peeled all the stickers off and put new stickers on them that say Gen 2 Plus. So now AGM Global Vision bought up so many thousands of those Gen 2 Plus tubes, which I have put them up right next to my Gen 3 tubes. And I'm like, some of these Gen 2 Plus tubes are better than my Gen 3 tubes. Like, wow, they're awesome. So anyways, these are new. They're brand new. They're going to be in the green bag with the helmet mount and the skull crusher mount, all that stuff. So if you don't bring a helmet, you can just wear the skull crusher mount. I always turn my hat backwards, and I put the skull crusher on. But if you have a helmet, you're welcome to wear a helmet. But the cool part is at the end of the course, at the end of day 2, if you decide, hey, Carl, I want to buy this PVS 14 complete, you get to keep the one that you trained with. At my price, I negotiated a discounted price, and it's a great discount, guys. It's going to be much better than what you're going to get from Euro Optics or Optics Planet or anywhere like that, right? But here's the cool part. If you don't want to buy them, Carl, this was fun. It was great training. I don't have the money right now. No big deal. AGM Global Vision has agreed to take the nods back, right? I will have IR laser and illuminators there for you to have on your rifles, all that stuff. We're going to be doing pieing doorways and rooms and and different drills to teach you how to use these PVS-14s. The other thing, let's say you already know for sure, hey, I want to buy night vision, but Carl, I already have a PVS-14, for example. I want to get a set of binos. You go to basically pick out anything you want from the AGM Global Vision website and email me, let me know. I'll let you know, wink, wink, what I can get it for. You're going to like the price. You're going to be like, holy shit, that's awesome. And you say for sure you're going to show up. You already have paid the tuition and everything. I will have those night vision goggles there for you. All right. And then you'll buy them at the beginning of the class, and they're yours. They're yours. So that's why you would need a helmet. If you get binos, night vision binos do not come with a skull crusher mount. They come with a helmet mount. All right. So as far as what helmet would I recommend, I run a Team Wendy ballistic helmet. All right. It is the lightest ballistic 3 Alpha helmet that I've ever seen, ever heard of. It is a decent helmet. But I also have what we call them bunny helmets or bump helmets. Your bump helmet is basically a tactical looking helmet. It's just not bulletproof or bullet retardant. They're lighter. They have holes cut in them to allow your head to breathe better. Honestly, that's all you need. I don't care if you go down to Walmart and buy a bicycle helmet and glue a nod mount on the front of it. No shit. That's what I did for a couple of my trips to Africa. When I'm out doing sniper ops or riding on the ATVs, I don't need a ballistic helmet. I got I want to say it was a black helmet from Toys R Us. I spray painted it tan, put a IR strobe on the back, glued a Wilcox night vision mount on the front, put American flags on both sides. There are people wanting to know where they could buy it. And I didn't have the heart to tell them, guys, I bought it at Toys R Us and glued all this shit onto it. I'm not big on having the latest Gucci equipment and stuff. So anyways, any helmet will work. It just has to have a night vision mount on the front, the correct night vision mount on the front. When in doubt, shoot me an email, tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. That's tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. I'll get the email and you send me a picture of your helmet and I will ensure you get the correct one. So I hope I answered that question well enough. I've got guys sending me pictures. They know I'm in the middle of a live stream right now. Here's one from, I got them approved, RGR. That's Dimitri from Primary Arms, the guy that invented the Vulcan reticle, which is totally badass, by the way. All right, back to Susan. All right, I don't have any more. My phone's screwing up on me. I don't see any more questions coming in from Susan. All right, so here's the deal, guys. So that's the low light, no light course. That is in early July. Late July, we have high risk travel. We do that course twice a year. We do it in late July and we do it in December. Why? Because it's too hot to be outside shooting. These are indoor classes and we cover everything from, you know, how to travel on an airplane, how to pack your bags, how to act in hotel rooms and taxis, everything, how to detect surveillance, situational awareness, all that stuff. Now, so you learn how not to get kidnapped. But then we also get into, okay, what happens if you actually do get kidnapped? We cover escapology, how to get out of flex cuffs, how to get out of pack and tape, which sounds different than duct tape when they're wrapping your wrists with it. All right, you get out of them different ways. So if you're hood over your head and you hear them putting the tape on, once you hear that of the tape, you're going to set your hands up different ways depending on the type of tape it is. We teach you how to shim handcuffs, how to make your own handcuff shims, how to pick handcuffs with bobby pins, all kinds of crazy stuff. Great course, 3-day long class. You're actually going to do surveillance, counter surveillance, mounted ops in vehicles working as a team while the other teams are actually trying to pull surveillance on you. It's a great, great course. Again, that is late July. We're also doing it again in December. Great course. Now, we have another course that's called High Risk Concealed Carry. All right, so let's say you've taken my Combat Pistol 101 course, which is my entry level course for combat shooting. You are required to have an outside the waistband holster, duty belt, a couple extra magazine pouches. It is a great course. You want to get good with the pistol, take Gun Runner 1 pistol, right? So let's say you've taken Gun Runner 1 pistol and Combat Pistol 101, but you're not a carbine guy. Susan, for example, over in Australia, can't have a carbine over there, but Susan owns a Glock 17, all right? Her husband's a CZ guy. That's okay. Glenn's awesome. But Susan competes competitively with a Glock with a Vulcan reticle red dot on it. All right, she's working on the paperwork so that she can get a concealed carry license. It is a thing in Australia. It's a thing here in the States. So some places require more paperwork than others. Okay, that's fine. What should be the natural progression for you? You've already taken your state's concealed carry permit, your CCW license. You already have it, which does nothing but cover the legal aspects of it. I encourage everybody to get a concealed carry permit, even though 26 of the states in the U.S. now have constitutional carry. You're not required to have, for Kentucky, for example, you are not required to have a concealed carry permit in Kentucky. You're not required to. I still recommend you to get a concealed carry permit in Kentucky because it's recognized in Tennessee. It's recognized in 34 other states. All right, so, and you learn all the legal aspect of it. So I'm not against that course, not at all. Everybody should take that. So you've taken that CCW course, you've taken Gun Runner 1 pistol, you've taken Carl's Combat Pistol 101. What is the next step for you in training? That is our High Risk Concealed Carry course. It is all combat shooting. We don't get the legal aspects, all that stuff of it. Nada. That's not this class. You're going to court afterwards. You are there in the situation. You have to defend your family. You have a firearm on you. You have the ability, the Constitution to do it, and you need the training. So the training, this is a course that you bring your concealed carry holster to, whether you're appendix carry, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, smaller back, whatever it is. No shoulder holsters. And if you're carrying a shoulder holster, you're somebody who doesn't want to shoot, all right? You bring your holster, your magazines, and you need to bring a t-shirt or long sleeve t-shirt. You need to bring a hoodie sweatshirt, and you need to bring a button-up shirt or light jacket. You need to have 3 different cover garments. Again, all the details are at tacticalrifleman.com. That class is in June. And same thing. It is 2 days long. You shooting from concealed holster, putting it away reluctantly, quietly, slowly, and safely. But you're going to be shooting around barricades. You're going to be doing shooting from retention. You're going to be doing all kinds of hands-on drills because you understand it's only your pistol if you can keep it. All right, so you're going to be learning great drills with it. You are. All right, that class is in June. The class is coming up soonest, though, besides all my ones in May. First week of May, I've got, I think I've got a few slots left for Combat Pistol 101. Combat Pistol Carbine, I think, is sold out. The day before Combat Pistol 101 is our medical course, Tactical Combat Casualty Care with Travis Hall from Second Chance Med. Great course, 1-day medical course. If you've never taken a good trauma course, you're selling yourself short. If you're going to carry a firearm, you need to take medical training also. Guys, Travis has been having some medical issues. Right now, this is the only medical class that I have on the calendar for this year. I'm hoping he gets good news from the docs and we'll do more classes later on in the year. But for right now, for 2023, this is the only medical class that I have on the calendar right now. So again, that is, I want to say 2 May. It's a Tuesday. Sign up for it online, tacticalrifleman.com. A couple weeks after that, 17, 18 May, I'm going to be down at Tiger Valley in Texas for our 2-day Tactical Precision Rifle 101 course. And awesome course. You don't need to have a $18,000 Accuracy International rifle with a Smith & Bender scope on it. You don't. I want you to bring your accurate gun with you. I don't care if it's an AR-10 in 308. I don't care. We've had guys do it with 5.56 guns. The guy that's usually the high shooter in that course is not the guy with the $10,000 gun. It's usually the guy that's got like the 6.5 Creedmoor Mossberg with a primary arm scope on it. He saved his money on equipment and spent all of his money on ammo and training. And that's how you get better. All right. I don't fear the guy that owns 200 guns. I fear the guy that owns one gun and a spare for everybody on his hill, but then spends the rest of that money on training so that they are proficient with that firearm. So if you're looking at precision rifle, the sniper end of it, notice I don't put sniper in the title, right? Because that's icky. The internet would not like that. And the reality is most of our sniper schools are 6 to 9 weeks long. I have you for 2 days. So I'm focusing on the shooting aspect of it. Again, basically 2-3 weeks of advanced rifle marksmanship crushed down into 2 days. Now, in the title though, and there are lots of precision rifle courses out there, this one says Tactical Precision Rifle. Why? Well, because me and all of the other instructors that are going to be there are all combat decorated special forces snipers. And when we share a drill, a lot of times we'll share a short story or a vignette to help drive that training point home. Well, all of my vignettes, all these stories, the combat tales that I share, guys, you understand they're going to be me with my SR-25. They're going to be talking about me with my SR-25. The 300 Win Mag rifles, the Barrett 50 cal, whatever it is. So we will be doing shooting on the assault countdown. We will be doing shooting the FBI T-box drills again on the assault countdown. You will stretch that rifle out to the max limits of the range. The known distance range is 1,000 meters. The unknown distance range gets out a little bit past that. It's good training, and we're only running that one. It is, I want to say 17, 18 May. Any of these classes, guys, you're welcome to sign up at tacticalrifleman.com. Susan threw a couple more at me here. She says we only have 15 minutes left, which is awesome. Already did that one. Tier Live, did you ever work with any National Guard Green Berets overseas? Yeah, on occasion, we'd have A-teams from like 19th or 20th group attached to us. I know that there were times where they would go as a whole company somewhere. But my SIF company, direct action company, we have a very limited mission set. We really didn't work with them too often. But understand, guys, your National Guard, Green Berets, the global war on terror, there was so much work going on that everyone got plenty of work and deployment. So no problem at all. Steve Smithston, Carl, have you used the SCS MOS on a Glock yet? I'm not sure what a SCS MOS on a Glock yet is. So that would be a no. I don't know what a SCS is. All right. I apologize. I don't know. So Steve, that would be a no. Nick Lee's here. Another question. Hey, Carl, do you recommend Nerf guns for CQB for countries that have strict gun airsoft laws? No. Here's the deal. One, you need to move to a country that allows you to actually have guns. You guys understand where airsoft came from, right? Airsoft basically came from in Japan, where they're not allowed to have any firearms at all since the end of World War II, basically. You know, a lot of rich people that wanted to have guns. Like I could sell my Green Beret online on eBay, say that it's got so many deployments, and even an old uniform worn in Iraq or worn in Afghanistan would sell for like $600. Somebody in Japan would buy it so they could put it up in some display case. But there are guys in Japan that have got whole walls of replicas. They started off as replicas, basically models that you could glue together, and then the models got even more realistic. They'd actually have springs in them and you could rack them and everything. They were non-firing replicas. And then hence the birth of airsoft. Since then, airsoft has come forward to the point to where they do replicate some of the recoil, and they are good for us, concerned citizens, to practice with when we're not allowed, when we can't go shoot live ammo, right? You'll hear me say dry fire, dry fire, dry fire. And the reason for this, basically only two things you can't do dry firing. One is recoil management, and then the second one is adjusting your point of aim for trajectory of the gun. An airsoft bullet's just never going to fly like 5.56 does, right? But everything else, practicing that draw, speed reloads, transitioning from targets, high ready, low ready, transition to another firearm, all that stuff can be done dry firing with your firearms. If you want to do a little bit of recoil management, I really do love my Cool Fire trainers, which is a drop-in barrel. And that's because I don't own any airsoft guns, but there are instructors that will use airsoft firearms where I teach, like our CQB classes, I teach with UTM. That is the ultimate training munition, marking rounds that the U.S. military, U.S. SOCOM uses. They're little bullets that you can run through a regular firearm. It has a explosive charge in it to cycle the action, and then a smaller charge to propel the projectile out the end of the barrel. It's got a little bullet that's got a dome filled with lipstick, basically, and when it hits something, a BB slides forward and squirts the lipstick out, and they hurt like hell. I had one go right through my Nomex gloves. I had to pop it out of my hand like a zit. I've been shot in the face, everything. That's what I train with in classes so that you guys can actually train with your actual firearms. But I understand me buying those conversion kits for courses is cost effective for me. I'm letting you rent them. You're just paying for the ammo. For you at home, though, you having to drop a separate $300-400 for a UTM bolt, or even more if you're getting a slide for your pistol, it's expensive. So airsoft is a good option. As far as Nerf, I do not know of a single Nerf firearm that replicates the correct weight and manual of arms for you to shoot. In other words, you're dropping the magazine, indexing that next magazine back up, releasing the slide forward, taking the weapon off of safe, or using that external safety on the slide if it's a single action or double action pistol. I don't know of any airsoft guns that have that. So yeah, that's going to be a hard no. And I don't mean to hurt your feelings if you love your Nerf guns. It was always fun playing Nerf with my son. But he always lost because I'm very competitive and I wear nods. All right, Joe Blow is here. Carl, I'm new to ARs. Are there realistically any benefits of a 14.5 pinned and welded over a 16-inch barrel? Need to do all 0-day tool 2 with a lean towards zombie work. Thanks for all the great intel, sir. If you understand, guys, you have to have a 16-inch barrel to be legal here in the United States. The National Firearms Act, if you go back and do the history on it, it was originally supposed to be set at 17 inches. And then they changed it the next year because all the 4-H guns and Boy Scout guns, 22 long rifles that they were teaching classes at summer camp, all had 16-inch barrels. So it was modified a year later to down to 16-inch barrels for everybody, shotguns, rifles, everything, pistols, all right? 16 inches to be legal. So the whole point of going with a shorter barrel, understand you're losing muzzle velocity, so you're making the weapon less effective, all right? But the whole point of a shorter barrel is just to make it so it is less space, so you can actually maneuver and store it. But more important than storing it, and everybody said, so you can hide it. I don't care anything about hiding. I need to be able to maneuver it on the battlefield, and having the shorter the barrel, the better. So if you have a 16-inch barrel and you want to put a flash hider on it or a muzzle brake, you're now adding 2 more inches to it. So now you have an 18-inch barrel. A 14-inch barrel, or my preferred for a AR is don't go shorter than 10.5 inches for 5.56. Don't go shorter than 10.5 inches on a 5.56. So I still need to be at 16. I am a fag. I'm a former action guy, just like you guys. I don't care about the registering it as a short-barreled rifle. I have one that's registered. I have suppressors. I have all this, so that the ATF already has my name in their database, all right? What I hate about registering it and getting the tax stamp is you then have to get permission to take that tax stamped firearm across state lines. You understand? I hear the artillery going off in Tennessee across the border because I live just north of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Half of Fort Campbell is in Tennessee. The lower half is in Tennessee. I am that close to Tennessee. So every time I want to go to Tennessee, I would have to ask the ATF, like get in writing paperwork from them. So I don't. I leave those guns at home. So what guns do I take? I still want it short. So for me, again, your own opinion, brother, you do what you want to do. What I chose to do was go with a 13.7 inch barrel that has a pinned and welded Surefire war comp on it. And what that does is it makes it exactly 16 inches. So now I'm legal. All right. But that muzzle brake or that flash hider has got to be the correct length, and it has to be pinned and welded. So you weigh the pros and cons. I just want to arm you guys with the information on why I do it. All right. Guys, we're going to call this quits here. We have already gone past our 2-hour mark. I don't see how you guys can literally stand here and listen to me run my suck for over 2 hours. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I really do. I want to thank all my moderators for all the hard work that they do here with us, because I understand, guys, it really is a pain in the ass having to put up with some of the stuff in the chat room. I got that, and but yeah, it is. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Again, next week's live stream is going to be on Monday night instead of Tuesday night. All right. Again, I will send you guys out reminders. YouTube will make sure none of you guys get them. All right. I want to give a big shout out again to Don for coming on tonight and sponsoring tonight's live stream. Protection Plus Tactics, home of the Bad Rod. But I also want to thank Dave Figgins for coming on from Fight or Die. If you guys want to help them out, again, this is a non-profit for a good reason, helping out the mental minds of our special ops guys, their family members. www.fod23.org, and you can help him and his team row all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. He told me the hardest part is getting to the starting point, and that to do that they need help from you guys to get the money in. All right. Again, that's all we got. Yeah, we're going to call this quits, and I will see you guys all next week. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Incoming right there. Incoming right there. Incoming right there.